Okay, so basically one of the things that I'm checking to see if it's going to make my life easier is the use of a ravel cord. Up until now, basically I have put my sock bonnet, I put my waist jar, then I start whatever project I happen to be doing, and once I take it off, obviously I need to disconnect the waist yarn from the sock tube and from the actual project. And so what I've actually done in the past basically is I end up cutting my waist yarn, and I'm kind of a frugal type person. I like to reuse stuff if I can, and so I saw this use of a ravel cord and I thought, well, why not try it and see. So the tip for the ravel cord basically is to make sure it's slippery. Okay, so and obviously it is thick enough that it's going to fit through your machine. Okay, so what I ended up doing is I ended up checking this. Oh, you can use silk and things like that, but I mean silk is obviously really expensive. Some people have used, I think, fishing line. I saw dental floss, but I have no idea how if dental floss would work or not or something like that. But this one here, basically, I went to Michael's. I just got some crochet thread. Not your regular 100% cotton crochet thread. This is 100% cotton, but it's mercerized cotton. And obviously you want to make sure it's super fine, so it's going to fit into my machine, no problem. I did have some twine at home, some nylon, I guess you could say nylon rope or nylon twine. That looked pretty, thin to me, but it wasn't thin enough to actually use on this machine. So the first thing you want to do is, ideally, you'd probably, I guess, want to make sure it's on a cone when you're actually using it. I just cut an actual amount for myself here, okay? The first amount that I tried cutting, I thought, oh, it was more than long enough, and of course, it wasn't. It stopped like around here, and then it ran out, and then I dropped a whole bunch of stitches. So that's not useful. So this time I dragged around 3 times to make sure I have left over at the end of it here, okay? So I'm going to take this out. All right, so what I did is I went one stitch past my 3 o'clock mark here, okay? So I'm going to undo this. I'm going to take that out so that I can put it all in there, okay? Whoops. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to have to hold it to make sure that none of these threads go under the latch, because of course as soon as it goes under the latch, you're going to have a drop stitch, and I am the queen of drop stitches, so we don't want that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this through my slotted carrier, even though technically it's not really, it's not really on a cone, but okay, there we go. We're going to put that through, and I am just going to, I'll weight that down afterwards once I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to put this, so I overlap this. So what I do is I put this one at 3 o'clock. And you can't see a thing, can you? So the waist yarn went one past the 3 o'clock mark. This one's at the 3 o'clock mark, so they're going to kind of crisscross. Now I've got to make sure that when they do that, both of them, I'm going to hold them down. Usually I put a clip of some sort, but I'm going to hold them down, and when I do that, I got to make sure that both of them are above the latch when the latch lifts, otherwise it's going to be a drop stitch. Okay, so let me check here. Hold on, there we go. As I lift this, I do not see it. The latch is going up. There we go. Ah. Okay, hold on. Put the latch down. Latch down. There we go. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to pull it that way. All right. There we go. Oh, what is that here? There we go. All right. I'm going forward with that. I'm just going to tug it a little bit there. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put that here just to give a little bit of weight to it. Okay. I'm going to just keep going around. All right. Okay. So there we go. And guess what? I dropped a stitch. Of course I had to drop a stitch. Oh, of course. Anyways, so I'm not going to worry about that too much at this point here. I'm just checking stuff out to see whether or not the ravel cord will work. Before I do that, though, I'm going to actually go on and I'm going to try learning to knit a stitch on my own that was missed, and I'm going to learn to unknit a stitch that I did not mean to knit. So give me a second to set that up, okay, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I fixed my slip stitch, and of course by doing that I actually ended up, this one right here, this stitch right here, we'll pretend was not actually knit. And let's say I did actually need it to knit, okay? And of course it may be after while you're actually doing it. We'll try it again in the middle of something. But basically what I was told, and it seems so simple because in the past something would be unknit. I've tried, to go backwards with the carrier. That's a big no-no because that just, drops a bunch of stitches. So it's like, well, what do you do, right? So you used to always start over, which, I've gotten really, really good at starting over. But basically all they said was that you needed to do is that whatever it is here, you pull it out, okay? And I'm going to put a little clip on this thing to help pull this thing down, okay? All right, there we go. Put a little bit of weight on it. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the stitch that was not knit. I want to get the hole, or the loop that's underneath it. I want to take that. Okay, I want to grab that. Not the other one, just this one here. And all I'm doing is I'm going to just put it right over. And now this one is also knit. So super, super simple. Almost kicking myself as to why it's not like I haven't read or seen anything. I've seen people do it on YouTube videos, that they do it so quickly that I didn't know what they were actually doing. So now I do. Okay? So let me put some regular yarn on there. We'll do another one that's like in the middle of something, not just an end one, and try it again. And I also learned, and I want to try, how do you unknit a stitch? Because sometimes you go a little bit further than you should have, and it's like, oh, how do you unknit that? And going backwards is not an option. So you can unknit, the number of stitches that you need if you knit too far. Okay, so give me a second here, and I will be back. Okay. So as I've done my CSM journey, I find that crafters, I'm going to say specifically knitters, CSM knitters, weavers and all that, they are awesome people, very generous with their time, their knowledge, and so forth. And I'm going to my first crank-in this fall. I'm looking really forward to it. And one of the organizers, Julie, mentors me as well from time to time when I have questions. She is awesome. So basically, I asked her, I said, oh, wait, at the crank-in, can you do a demo on, how to do, using Ral Cord and well, not Ral Cord, sorry, how to unknit a stitch that you did not mean to knit, and how to fix an unknit stitch, because I'm like, it causes me no end of issues. And so basically, instead of waiting until then, she just basically showed me exactly, sent me a little video of herself doing it. And I thought, oh my God, it can't be that simple. So, so I thought, I'm going to make a video for myself so that I remember it and try it myself, because it cannot be, this easy here, right? That I've been, eating all the chocolate in my swear jar every time I make a mistake. So basically, let's pretend. Now, usually you would not, lift your needles, basically, but hold on, let me go beyond here. Okay, so let's pretend for whatever reason everything was being knitted properly, you didn't lift any needles or anything like that, but you end up seeing one of these and it's like, oh, because as soon as I see that, I almost cry, because I'm like, okay, I'm taking everything off and starting from scratch. Okay, so as I showed in the previous video, you see this loop, the loops below it. Okay, you want to grab those loops below it, so we're going to pull out, and you want to make sure that that these, okay, are, there we go. Okay, so usually it's like this, right? The little flaps, okay, the little latches are underneath. I'm going to lift them just a little bit here to make sure they stay flat, because again, if latches are not completely flat, they tend to drop stitches, and I hate that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out the first needle here, okay? I'm going to put my hook into the loop that is around that needle, okay? There we go. All right. And then basically, oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, hold on a sec here. See, we've got a problem here, because by putting it down, I put the latch on top of the loop, which of course is not helpful. So hold on a sec here. Let me make sure that I put that loop above the latch, because otherwise this is not going to work for us. Yeah, that doesn't work for us. Okay, let me fix that and I'll come back. Okay, so I loosened my tension a little bit because I had it on for sock tension for a different yarn, which is a little bit tight for this, and it was giving me some grief. But anyways, so I have right now, as you can see, okay, so you still see here, all right, the yarn that is not pulled. You must make sure that the loop is over the latch for each one, okay? So now, okay, so let's pull her out. We're gonna hook the loop underneath. Oh, hook the loop underneath. And then I am just going to bring it. Oh, my tension is really tight here. That's not helpful. Give me a sec here. So let's lift that up. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that for a second. Get my loop in. Okay, so I've got the loop. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put it over, and it is knit. Let's do the same thing with the other one. Let's bring this higher here, get this out of the way just temporarily. I'm gonna hold that while I get the loop in. All right, so I've got my loop in. I'm just gonna bring it up. Boom, done. The knit is done. And I can move on. I do not have to start over. Like, hallelujah. Okay? The next thing I wanted to do is that what happens when you actually end up knitting too far. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, let's go around. Okay, and let's say I want to stop here. And of course, I'm talking, because you know me, I talk all the time, and I end up going too far. So let's say I go here, okay? Hold on. And it's like, oh my gosh, I went too far, okay? And I need to get rid of these somehow. So what I'm going to end up doing, in this case here, is I'm going to, let me see here. I'm going to undo all of this on my mast. Might be easier for me to cut it in this instance than to fiddle with all of this nonsense, but we will see. Okay, so let me see if I can get this all off. Okay, now let's see if I can somehow, there we go. So what you're doing is that basically you can see this loop here, and what this, by undoing this, it's going to bring one thread over, okay, which makes my heart jump into my mouth because to me it's going to unknit something, but it's literally leaving the loop here, so it's still knitted. It's just removing that last loop. Okay, so let's do that here because these ones are underneath, so I'm going to have to, obviously, I don't know how you do it when it's low like this, but I'm guessing the loose, let's see here. Oh, no, don't do that. That's not good. Okay, that obviously is not the way to do it. Okay, hold on a sec here. So, hold on here. I gotta put it back on that hook now. Okay, I put it back on that hook. So how on earth, if they're lower, how on earth do you do that to unknit these ones? I'm not sure. Because they call it tinking, and tinking basically is knit spelled backwards, or knitting spelled backwards, which means that you're basically unknitting. Once you get to these ones, it's not an issue. So I'm not sure how to do it. Let's see, maybe if these ones come up. Will these ones come up a little bit? No, they're down. I'm not sure how you do it for the ones that are down. Because I don't want to... Because she was pulling them, from what I saw, and it seemed to, because I don't want, okay, let's cut it for a second here. Let's see if cutting it makes it easier. Because all I want to do basically is I don't want to remove the loop that's on it. I just want to take this one here. Now if I do that, am I going to, I think I'm going to lose it again. No, this can't work. This does not work. So how on earth? don't know. Because if I'm on knitting. So I'm guessing the ones that are down, you got to be really, really careful of. Okay, so I'm going to hook this on. Okay. And I'm going to pull out this one here, this thread here, but I have to put this back on the hook. Because if I don't even know how to get it back on the hook because the hook is so... Oh, I got it back on the hook. Okay. Because the hook is buried in there. Okay, so I should be able to then just pull it like this. So you pull it forward, and you can't see. Okay. So if you pull it forward slowly, it's supposed to bring over the loop and keep it there. See? The loop stayed. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to bring it up and forward, the loop stayed. I'm going to bring it up and then slowly forward, the loop stayed. Up, slowly forward, and the loop stayed. So once they're up, it's not an issue. The ones that are down, it's an issue because you can't somehow bring it over. It seems that you need to put the loop on, remove this thread, and then basically put it. So I don't know how you would do it when it's down. I'm going to have to go back to Julie and ask her in that scenario because, of course, if you're unknitting certain ones, you've already knit ahead more. So how on earth do you remove the ones that are down? I don't know. But anyways, that is what we call tinking. Okay, so I'm going to contact her and find out about the other portion there so she can let me know. So I contacted Julie. She was awesome. She sent me a quick little video to show exactly how to deal with the situation of the needles that are down. And sorry if you're hearing that buzzing. It's because I'm doing laundry. So I'm going to definitely try it to make a video for myself. Because I reattached another yarn, I have also seen people say that if you take the end, you can actually just, for a few needles, you can just kind of put it in along with the actual thread that you've got. So kind of like when you're knitting and you take the ends at the end and you weave them in kind of thing. So I'm going to try that and see because that way I don't have to do that at the end. So I'm going to put them through here, make sure that it lifts and it goes as the other one goes. So I'm going to, let's see here. Is it going to catch if I do that? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, cool. So this is another little trick here that, if you've got an end, for example, you can weave it in right away. So at the end, I can just cut this and it will go back in, but it's been woven in already, so it's not a big deal. Okay? All right, so let's get on to what, oh, hold on a sec here. What's the matter, Neelix? So let's say, for example, I'm going all the way around. Let's say I'm supposed to stop at this heel mark and, oh no, I went too far. Okay, so what do? So you remember earlier in the video, these ones were down and trying to figure out how to tink those ones were quite nasty. So what I'm going to end up doing, actually, you know what, let's go a little bit further. Okay, so I was supposed to stop right here. These ones I could easily untink. It's these ones that I can't. So what do I do in that scenario? I'm going to put up as many needles as I possibly can up to where I was basically supposed to stop. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Put all of these up. Cool. All right. Can I put these ones behind here as close as I could possibly get? I'm good. No, that one doesn't go up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue going, okay, to the end. All right. So these are all wrong right here that I've got to untink. I'm going to remove, all right, the yarn right here. And I'm going to slowly go backwards and untink, all right? So I'm not sure if you can see from this angle. Let's see if I can change it a little bit here. Okay, so I'm going to pull, and again, as I pull, it should, oops. Hold on, so here, it's supposed to rise, let's take this out of the way. Right? It's supposed to rise up. Oh. And I don't want to. Of course it doesn't want to. Oh. Okay, hold on here. Is that going to work if I... Because once you start untinking, it's not a problem. It's just a pain to get the first one going for whatever reason. I'm going to take this off my slot mask that's long. Okay. I'm going to untink. What is it that I want to, I want this, hold on here. Will this cause me to draw? Because something has to come over the top. There, okay. There we go. There. And it, sorry, I guess you have to have E. Okay. I guess you want to have it. Well, it's certainly not doing it as easily as it did before. There we go. Oh, you know why? Because I've got the woven in end from the last one. Remember I tried to weave in the end? That's why it's causing me issues. Because I'm like, this would be so simple. So let's pretend that the end was not woven in, because that's what's causing issues, obviously. Okay? There we go. See, now it's coming off much easier. Okay? So there we go. All right? There we go. It's just trying to bring that loop over. Okay? I like to do it slowly because this thing just always makes me so afraid that I'm going to. And this one has the end still woven in, unfortunately. So hold on a sec here. That's that end that I did not want in there. There we go. Okay. So I just keep on tinking. There we go. Now I'm back to where I was supposed to stop. So I bring my carrier around. Okay, and I'm going to put down all of these. Okay. So then basically from here I can continue on and knit whatever it was I was supposed to do, whether it was supposed to be changing colors or so forth. Now the thing is though, as you can notice, is that I've got these needles, they're still up. I can't put them down. Okay, no, I can't put them down because of course the thing in the cam is blocking them from actually going down. So probably what I should have done is that instead of putting the needles from the point where I needed to undo, I probably should have gone further back even more so that I could put all the needles down once it's done. And then of course the carrier would be further back, but it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But again, I can continue forward, and as I continue forward a little bit, I can put these down and continue with whatever business I've got. I do notice that every time I do something like that, though, these needles, the lashes, like to stay up. So what I might end up doing is that as I continue on, I will just lift them ever so slightly so that they can lay down flat for that first circle as we go around, and then continue on. Okay? Now the last thing I wanted to check is to go back to the very, very beginning, which is the ravel cord that we had. So let's take this off. Okay? So here, I'm going to cut this just to make life simpler. It's just waste yarn for me anyways. Okay. So let's hold on to everything. I'm going to go forward. Oh, hold on. Damn. Excuse the language. Okay. That did not help. Let's put all these down. There we go. Okay. So now let's take a look and see how easy it is to actually remove this ravel cord. So let me just reorient the camera there. Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. So I still have it on the sock bonnet. Obviously I didn't remove it from the sock bonnet. This is where this was the end of it, this was the beginning of it. So I'm assuming that you are basically just supposed to pull it, and it should be slippery enough that it comes out on its own. Let's see here. Now again, granted, this is longer than it should have been. Here, let's cut this. No, I guess it's not. My scissors are not in the way. Okay, hold on a sec here. Where did I put it here? I lost it. This is the very long side. This is the short side. It is coming. Now again, my hands are not all that strong because of the arthritis. There we go. Okay, now. And it did detach, thank goodness. I'm like, just watch it. Nothing. It didn't happen. So it did detach. Oh, that's odd. Why did this part not detach? Oh, that it did detach. And this is still stuck. So I don't know what I did with that to make that still stuck. But the ravel cord did work. I guess this part I have to obviously be aware of because, of course, it's undoing. Oh, this is my waist yarn, so I don't really care about that anyways. Okay, but, okay, so if I do want to detach something, I can remove the, you know, between, for example, I don't know if you could use the ravel cord between the rings of the bonnet with the waist yarn. That would actually be the best thing, because then it would come out so much easier, and then I just, you know, manually remove the waist yarn as I normally would, and, you know, the assumption is that whatever you have connected has a hung hem or something that will obviously not unravel, right? So the ravel cord does work. I did find it's not a slippery, like I've used, as I said, I've used satin embroidery thread before when I weave, and that's fairly slippery. This one's not quite as slippery, but it did work. For sure. So again, I can reuse it over and over again. Now, I've made it too long. It would definitely shorten the length, but be very careful, because if you don't have it long enough, as you're going around the cylinder, wherever it runs out, the rest of those stitches you're going to drop, because that's the first take that I did, and that was disheartening. So, I hope all these tips help. They're going to make my life a lot easier going forward, and have yourself a great day.